Canada falling apart? Alarming new data shows Alberta drifting from Confederation. Alberta's potential separation from Canada is rapidly becoming a focal point of political discourse, and recent polling data underscores a significant shift in public sentiment. This issue transcends regional boundaries, carrying implications that could reshape the dynamics of the entire nation. As the conversations surrounding independence intensify, it is imperative to unpack the factors driving this movement and the broader political context that accompanies it. Recent surveys reveal a notable increase in support for independence among Albertans and Saskatchewanians. According to an Angus Reid poll, 36% of Albertans and 34% of Saskatchewanians are open to the idea of holding referendums on independence. This surge in support occurs despite a lack of formal campaigns advocating for separation, highlighting a growing discontent with the federal government and its policies. The data suggests that many citizens feel that their voices are not being adequately represented in Ottawa. Premier Danielle Smith of Alberta has publicly distanced herself from the idea of actively promoting separation. However, she has emphasized her legal obligation to respect the outcome of any citizen-led vote regarding independence. This position reflects a growing recognition among provincial leaders that they must navigate the complexities of public sentiment while maintaining their political footing. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe has echoed this sentiment, advocating for democratic processes without actively pushing for separation. The dissatisfaction brewing in Alberta is largely rooted in frustrations over federal policies perceived as harmful to the province's economic interests. Key issues such as pipeline blockages, carbon taxes, and regulatory hurdles have intensified feelings of alienation among Albertans. A staggering 85% of respondents indicated they would be more inclined to support separation if Quebec continues to obstruct pipeline projects. This statistic underscores a critical connection between federal actions and public opinion, illustrating how perceptions of unfair treatment can drive separatist sentiments. Critics of the independence movement often argue that Alberta would face significant challenges as a landlocked province if it were to separate from Canada. However, proponents counter that international law, specifically the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, guarantees landlocked nations access to ocean routes. This argument aims to dispel fears about economic viability and access to resources, suggesting that Alberta could thrive independently much like other landlocked nations such as Switzerland and Kazakhstan. Polling data alone can be misleading without proper context and education. As Albertans become more informed about their rights and the implications of separation, opinions are likely to shift. The conversation surrounding independence is not merely about expressing discontent. It is also about envisioning a future where Alberta could wield greater control over its resources, healthcare, and economic policies. This narrative is essential for building support among undecided voters and ensuring a well-informed electorate. Danielle Smith advocates for a measured approach to addressing the independence question, emphasizing the need for thorough public engagement. By gathering signatures and validating public support, she aims to create a foundation for meaningful discussion about Alberta's future. This strategy seeks to foster an informed electorate that can participate in conversations about the consequences of independence and what it might mean for their daily lives. The response from federal leaders, particularly from the Liberal Party under Mark Carney, has been notably muted. As the new leader of the party and a potential prime minister, Carney's silence on Alberta's concerns raises questions about his commitment to addressing regional disparities. His lack of engagement on this pressing issue has led many Albertans to feel that their voices are being ignored, further fueling the desire for independence. In contrast, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has been vocal about the need for a more equitable approach to resource management and provincial autonomy. His stance resonates with many Albertans who feel that their economic contributions to the country are undervalued. By advocating for a more decentralized approach to governance, Poilievre aims to tap into the growing sentiment of frustration and alienation among voters in Alberta. At the heart of the independence debate lies economic considerations. Many Albertans believe that separation could lead to greater economic prosperity, better healthcare, and local control over resources. The narrative that independence could unlock new economic opportunities is a compelling one, especially for those who feel marginalized by federal policies. If people are shown that separation could provide a pathway to a stronger economy, support for independence may continue to rise. The economic argument for independence is bolstered by the perception of federal mismanagement and neglect. Albertans often cite repeated failures in resource development and infrastructure investment as reasons for their discontent. This frustration is compounded by feelings that their hard work is not being recognized or rewarded by a distant federal government. The prospect of greater local control over economic decisions is an appealing alternative for many. The independence movement is not solely rooted in economic arguments, it also encompasses social and cultural dimensions. Many Albertans feel that their unique identity and values are not adequately represented within the broader Canadian framework. This sense of cultural alienation can amplify desires for independence, as citizens seek to assert their distinctiveness and ensure that their voices are heard. The conversations around separation often evoke strong emotional responses. For some, the prospect of independence represents a reclaiming of agency and pride. The desire for a government that understands and prioritizes local issues resonates deeply with those who feel sidelined by federal decisions. This emotional connection to the issue further complicates the political landscape, as leaders must navigate not only economic concerns, but also the cultural narratives that shape public opinion. As the debate over Alberta's potential separation unfolds, it raises questions about the future of federal-provincial relations in Canada. The growing sentiment for independence challenges the traditional notions of unity and cooperation that have characterized Canadian politics for decades. If provinces feel empowered to pursue their own paths, it could lead to a reconfiguration of the Canadian Federation itself. Political leaders will need to engage with these sentiments thoughtfully and proactively. Addressing the underlying issues that contribute to feelings of alienation is crucial for maintaining national unity. Open dialogue, genuine engagement, and a willingness to acknowledge regional disparities will be essential in preventing further fragmentation of the country. The conversation surrounding Alberta's potential separation from Canada is multifaceted and complex. While there is significant support for independence, it is essential to approach this issue with a balanced perspective. The frustrations driving this movement stem from a desire for better governance and recognition of Alberta's unique challenges. As political leaders navigate this evolving landscape, the need for open dialogue and informed decision-making will be paramount. By fostering understanding and addressing the concerns of Albertans, it may be possible to bridge the divide and work towards a more cohesive and inclusive Canada. The future of the nation hangs in the balance, and it is the responsibility of all stakeholders to engage in constructive conversation.